moon, get your ticket now. Everybody line up, get your tickets, we're going to Did you buy the tip? Yeah. Do you like rocket ships? Oh, what a deal with it. You wanna try this shit? Yeah. We got everything you need, you better buy some kitty now. Everybody, long live Ponzi. Everybody, long the Ponzi. Everybody, long the Ponzi ride. Never short it. Bitcoin's back, alright.
Alrighty people, good morning. It is a Sunday, the 16th of May 2021. It is just coming up to, it's just coming up to 12 o'clock GMT where I'm in the UK. This is a special show today dedicated to Elon Musk as he seems to be going on a crypto query, should we say. You know, he seems to be actually promoting Doge. It's like, seriously, mate, you're actually starting to take Dogecoin seriously. It is a meme coin. So today I'm going to go through all these figures, as we normally do on the morning show, but I'm going to explain it as though I'm explaining it to Elon Musk. And if everybody shares out this show and tags him in this tweet, you never know, he might actually watch it. So there's just going to be a bit more detail in this one, as in like fundamental explanations before we jump into the figures. So as it just so happens, I have written this. Check it out. Here we go. So this was fundamentals for financial regulators. And I've done my best to literally try and explain this as best I can. So we're going to read through this first, and then as we go through the figures, I will try and link back to this and apply it as we see it. So here we go. Bitcoin, as designed by Satoshi Nakamoto in the Bitcoin white paper, is a commodity. A commodity is something that is common to everyone and therefore does not have a central point of authority or control. Number 2. How can Bitcoin not have a central point of authority or control if it's man-made? Answer. The central point of authority and control within Bitcoin becomes diluted over time through a process that Dr. Wright, aka Satoshi Nakamoto, implemented called proof of work. How does proof of work dilute the central point of authority and control over time? Answer. Bitcoin is, drums please, here we go. Over time, Bitcoin is fixed in supply and can be divided by 16 or more decimal places, which means it is more than capable of absorbing all the world's various financial markets by a factor of approximately 50. Because it is fixed in supply, as more people come in to start using Bitcoin, its price increases, which incentivizes yet more people to start using it. This also incentivizes people and companies to add hash rate to the Bitcoin network, which is computing power used for processing transactions, in exchange for the opportunity cost of being rewarded in Bitcoin. This process is competitive, and because Bitcoin is fixed in supply, it means its value should increase over time, enabling the competition to continue indefinitely. Proof of work is therefore a continual process of dilution and will eventually lead to a market containing various specialized Bitcoin mining operations, such as Tau, as we've seen. If Dr. Craig Wright can start the network, what differentiates the Bitcoin network from any other? Answer. According to Wikipedia, Dr. Craig Wright released the Bitcoin white paper to a cryptography mailing list 2 months and 4 days prior to the network being started. This gave an equal opportunity for any one of a number of very competent individuals within the group to start the network themselves. 2+ months in this case being considered a reasonable amount of time. This provides credibility to neutralize the possibility of a single entity having control of the starting point. The network was then started by Dr. Wright using the pseudonym Satoshi Nakamoto, and the network was started on the 3rd of January 2009 in comparison to the white paper when it was released on the 31st of October 2008, 2 months and 4 days. The white paper was released to a group of competent English-speaking individuals, and information contained within it was written in the English language. The author, being a Japanese pseudonym, meant that any potential bias was negated and effectively divided the start of the network between two identities, English and Japanese. He then stepped back from Bitcoin in order to let the network grow organically without any central point of authority, control, or influence. It is this neutral growth and size that is unique to Bitcoin that separates it from any other network and ultimately provides Bitcoin with its fundamental value as a commodity. 5. Bitcoin mining might be diluted, but what's to stop a group of centralized developers from taking over the network? Answer. Dr. Wright designed Bitcoin as an immutable ledger with a chain of signatures to hold all users and developers of the network to account. This way, no one single individual or group could do anything to the network or on the network that no one else would know about. It is accountability through this chain of signatures that prevents a group of centralized developers from taking over the network. 6. How can the Bitcoin network be considered to be a public network? Answer. The network has to be permissionless. If anyone and everyone has the opportunity to use and build on the network, it can be considered to be available to the public and common to everyone. This is achieved with a locked protocol. Once the protocol is locked, it means no one has the power to change it. A locked protocol is just as important as a fixed supply for the very same reason. What is it that makes Bitcoin a valuable commodity? Answer. Data sovereignty. The Bitcoin network is decentralized through competition, proof of work, distribution, accountability, a locked protocol, and fixed supply. This means that any and all data that is uploaded to the network is immutable because it cannot be deleted. It also means that whoever uploaded the data is responsible for it and has paid a fee to a decentralized distributed network of competing mining operations in order to do so. It is this data sovereignty which is the ultimate use case for Bitcoin, besides that of a medium of exchange that provides its value and makes it a commodity. So 8, to recap and for clarity, I've numbered the above points below, the 5 pillars of decentralization. Number 1, accountability. Satoshi designed Bitcoin with a chain of signatures to hold all users of the system to account. This way no one could do anything on the network that no one else would know about. This is what makes all users equal to one another. 2, a locked protocol. If it cannot be changed, then no one can control it. 3, infinite scale. This means that there are always a new market to compete for. Without infinite scale capability, new market cannot be created, and the only alternative is to take market share away from competitors, which leads to centralization. 4, competition. This is essential for a decentralized network. If there is no competition, there is simply collusion for self-interest and not for that of the network and its users. 5, fixed supply simply means no one can control it. Number 9. What is it that differentiates Bitcoin from so-called cryptocurrencies? Answer. Bitcoin was defined by Dr. Craig Wright as a peer-to-peer electronic cash system. However, it can also be defined in a number of other ways, such as the foundation layer for all future digital technologies, secured and underpinned by economic principles, monetary and data sovereignty, the bridge to the blockchain. This is all due to having solved the paradox of the centralized starting point through providing the reasonable amount of time for others to start the network, the use of the pseudonym Satoshi Nakamoto, and its neutral growth without any central point of authority, control, or influence for a period of 10 plus years. This is in comparison to all other cryptocurrencies that either have a centralized starting point or are centrally controlled, including the various Bitcoin chains that include both BTC and BCH. BTC had its chain of signatures segregated on the 24th of August 2017 by a centralized group of developers called Blockstream that called the implementation SegWit. And if you don't believe me on that one, we'll just have a listen to Blockstream's Chief Strategy Officer, Samson Mow, explaining that Blockstream control Bitcoin right now. Take the floor, Samson Mow.
Bitcoin was created by the central bankers that enslave you today. It is their scapegoat.
How do you answer those, Max and Stacey?
I think the evidence is clear that they do not control it. There's 10 years, almost 11 years now of track record.
Yeah, Blockstream controls it.
I'm sorry, go ahead. Who does?
Blockstream.
Oh, all right. I was looking at you when I said that.
Yeah, I'm a block.
I have a spy. I'm one of the spies. No. So this, it's an interesting. Now that there's.
It certainly is interesting now that there's a Max Kaiser. Oh dear. Bitcoin Cash has developers that implemented Schnorr signatures and continually alter the protocol every 6 months. It is either due to a network's centralized control and authority, or their starting points that make all other cryptocurrencies illegal security offerings. And if you want to hear the sort of attitude that these other devs have towards their cryptocurrencies, we'll just have a listen to Roger Ver and BCH. So take the floor, Roger Ver.
I have a question here from Satoshi, defender of Bitcoin. He said, if a cryptocurrency is anonymous, like BCH, I don't think BCH is anonymous, but maybe there is something.
Check out cashfusion.com and you combine that with reusable payment codes, and you get Bitcoin Cash in the same sort of ballpark of privacy as Monero. It's really awesome. So you can check out Cashfusion. And I always get it wrong. I think it's .com, but it might be .org. So you can check both. Cashfusion.com.
Okay, awesome. So BCH, maybe using Cash Fusion and XMR, if they're anonymous, how can a business get legal recourse against a supplier if the supplier defaults and no proof on the transaction exists because anon?
Yeah, if you want your cryptocurrency to be perfectly legal for everything all the time, just go use your Visa card. Just go use your PayPal, right? What do you need a cryptocurrency for? You can do all of it with a centralized, fully legal and fully compliant payment platform, right? So go use PayPal. I think you've missed the entire point. The entire point of cryptocurrencies is that by technological design, they are beyond the reach of the law. They're above the law. That's why, imagine if Bitcoin could have been shut down by governments, they probably would have shut it down from right out of the gate. And it's the fact that Bitcoin can't be shut down. We should ask the BSVers this: if they pass a law saying BSV needs to shut down their blockchain, are they going to obey and shut down their BSV blockchain? I hope the answer would be no. Which is just a lot of the stuff I see from some of these BSVers are silly. But then there's other BSV fans that, I'm very, very sympathetic to their way of thinking. But the ones that say that the blockchains all need to be legally compliant about everything all the time, just go use your Visa card. And we're going to really spread Bitcoin Crash across the entire country here in Antigua.
That's why I call it B-Crash, Elon, because Roger calls it B-Crash himself. But if you're an intelligent individual, I hope you realise that you don't really want to be using a medium of exchange in business that is illegal. Whereas these people seem to think it's okay. It's absolutely ridiculous. And I shall explain that further in just a second when we go over a topic called reasonable expectation in trade, just in case you're not sure of that yourself. So number 10, the term cryptocurrency means cryptographically hidden, whereas Bitcoin is designed as an auditable ledger. Bitcoin is private, not anonymous. Anonymity is something one would seek to have, for example, in a toilet cubicle, whereas privacy is something a couple would wish to have behind a bedroom door. Bitcoin is electronic cash, cash being the most liquid form of money, and money having to be a commodity in order to act as a medium of exchange. A medium of exchange is a tool that enables, encourages, and accelerates the facilitation of trade. Trade being the most valuable thing in the world, Bitcoin is likely to become the most valuable thing in the world. And those people, companies, corporations, and countries who first adopt Bitcoin, BSV, are likely to benefit from it the most. The only protocol that can be considered a commodity is the protocol that Satoshi Nakamoto designed and described in his white paper entitled Bitcoin, a peer-to-peer electronic cash system. This protocol, named Bitcoin Satoshi Vision, is often referred to as Bitcoin SV and as the ticker symbol BSV. If you are a regulator and would like more clarity on understanding the fundamentals of Bitcoin, please reach out to me on Twitter at SatoshiTV. And got quite an exciting meeting coming up with somebody with close connections to the Bolivian government very soon. So I'm very much looking forward to that. So Elon, if you like what I've just said there, please reach out to me. Happy to explain everything to you. I'm now just going to go over a topic here of reasonable expectation in trade. And this is really important for businesses like yourself, to make sure that you're not breaking the law and all that. So let's see if we can find it here. As you can see, I have written actually quite a lot. Oh, there we go. Got it. Excellent. That'll do. Here we go. So this is my little bit of law and economics being applied to Bitcoin here. So Bitcoin, reasonable expectation within trade. Here we go. A fundamental use case of a medium of exchange, such as Bitcoin, is to provide legal protection within a trade should a dispute arise between trading parties. In order for legal protection to be applied, it must first be established that the claimant has reasonable expectation of either the good or service being provided, and that reasonable expectation can be proved. Without reasonable expectation, the legal system cannot provide trading parties with any legal protection. This very point completely undermines any value that many misguided individuals may place on anonymous cryptocurrency. A medium of exchange is competitive by nature, as commerce will simply use the medium of exchange that fulfills the trade in the best way. This means that a natural monopoly will occur because the medium of exchange that fulfills trade in the best way will be the medium of exchange that everyone uses. Making cryptocurrency anonymous and removing any possibility of having legal protection immediately prevents commerce and global trade from ever using it. Commerce and global trade make up the majority of trade, and so by removing a fundamental use case such as legal protection, it has effectively resigned itself to the waste bin and gives it a fundamental value to all those who hold it of zero. Some might argue that anonymity is a libertarian right, because it provides the ability to conduct illegal activities such as drugs and arm dealing, human trafficking, the selling of child abuse images and human organs on the black market, animal smuggling, and a whole host of abhorrent, morally reprehensible, unethical activities that criminals who call themselves libertarians like to engage in. The world's dark market is currently estimated to be around 1.8 trillion, which many would consider to be quite large. However, this is insignificant when compared to a commercial and global trade. E-commerce alone is estimated to be around $29 trillion. This means that anonymous cryptocurrency only caters for a small minority of trade, and anyone caught using it would obviously be involved with illegal activity and therefore identifying themselves as a criminal. Criminals are those who have been caught engaging in illegal activities. It can be said that there is no such thing as a clever criminal because they have been caught. One way of being caught is to use something that identifies you as a criminal. So even those with criminal intent will not use something that identifies them as criminals. Therefore, only those who suffer intellectual challenges would create and use anonymous cryptocurrencies. To have reasonable expectation in a medium of exchange that represents the value of the agreed good or service must first be transferred. Data sent via an email or through a channel such as the Lightning Network on BTC has no fundamental value because it is not immutable. It can simply be deleted. Even if the transfer of data was sent through a Lightning node on its network, unless the node operator is legally recognized as a money service business, or MSB, under federal law and has an official money transmitter license, then the data is not legally recognized and therefore cannot bring any legal protection in the form of reasonable expectation. The only credible cryptocurrency with a decentralized starting point to give it a fundamental value that also exchanges value that carries reasonable expectation is the cryptocurrency that Satoshi Nakamoto designed and defined in his white paper as Bitcoin, a peer-to-peer electronic cash system. That needs to be updated. Wrote that a while ago because it's not a cryptocurrency. Well, it's a currency. That's all it is. So, but people know what I mean by that. But there we go, Elon. So, hope you enjoyed that little bit of education there. Now we're going to go through the figures and show you what is going on under the bonnet right now. Check this out. Here we go. Rock and roll, people. Loving this. So Elon, if you haven't seen CoinDance before, they're a really good website. Sort of like tells you the statistics about what is going on under the hood. So this first chart that we're looking at here, this has got hash rate, network nodes, transactions, and block size. So block size represents the data flowing through the chain. This is what gives Bitcoin its fundamental value. The amount of data going on chain and the amount of data being used, or the network is being used for, which is why it's at the bottom here. Now, often data, the amount of data, will sort of is followed by transactions. So you're going to have large data users using it initially, but those data is going to be uploaded through transactions. So you've got obviously data first, which is block size, then transactions, and as you can see, Bitcoin here has got 81% of the overall data of the block size going through the chain in comparison to Corecoin, which I call BTC, and Bcrash, as Roger Ver calls it. And look at that, not only does Bitcoin actually have data flowing through the chain, 80% of the data, it's now also got 47.8% of the transaction volume in comparison to Corecoin and Bcrash. And if you think, well, I'll explain how long, since the protocol was wrestled away from these nefarious entities, I can show you what's happened in one of these graphs later on. Network nodes. So again, network nodes are just simply nodes effectively that are providing hash rate, and then hash rate is the overall hash rate on the network, which is the power that is put toward processing transactions. So miners just simply put hash rate on the network according to how valuable they think it is, because they chase profits. Now, obviously, the price of Bitcoin has to be able to support their mining operation, which Bitcoin doesn't do quite just yet, which is why they're all mining Corecoin. However, the price of Corecoin is purely speculative because it has no fundamental value. And again, the reason I'm explaining this is because you'll be able to see all those people in the know who understand that Corecoin only has a speculative price with no fundamental value, why they are cashing out. And so I'd probably, if you don't do it, somebody else is going to do it before you. So just bear that in mind as we go through the charts here. So just for lulz and my followers here, we're going to play spot the biggest block on Bcrash because there aren't any. Look, there's a 1.08 megabyte, 1.2, and that's it. Oh dear. And but now, just for you, Elon, we're going to have one of your colleagues, a chap you probably know quite well, who I think has been reaching out to you. You might know him. He's sort of like quite famous in the space now, called Michael Saylor. He comes on my show every day because he likes to promote Bitcoin. So Michael, welcome to the show. We're talking to Elon today. So obviously Elon is looking at various what should we call cryptocurrencies, on within this market. And obviously one of the things he was looking at was Corecoin. That obviously Blockstream have got their mitts in, and they've added things like SegWit, which segregate the chain of signatures, which meant that they were no longer accountable to anybody, which effectively means they control the network, as we heard Samson Mao admit. They're also adding things like replaced by fee and child pays with parent, and they're not developing the first layer, they're developing second layers, basically tampering with Bitcoin and completely changing it from how it was set out in the white paper. What are your thoughts on that, Michael?
I like Bitcoin the way it is.
A little bit delayed there, Michael, but thank you very much for your input there. Well, I have to say that we really like Bitcoin as well. How do you respond to that?
In fact, I love Bitcoin the way it is.
Wow. Okay, loving Bitcoin the way it is. Well, maybe you'd like to explain to Elon what it is you like about the way it is so much, as in like the way it was originally designed.
The way it's currently constructed, it is possible to put all $250 trillion of monetary energy.
Wow, $250 trillion of monetary energy. That's a lot, Michael. Where's it going to go?
In big blocks of encrypted energy on the blockchain.
Yeah? Well, I mean, those blocks are going to have to be pretty big for that amount of money. What sort of figures are we talking about?
Maybe the Bitcoin will be $1 million. You can probably calculate $10 million of Bitcoin or something.
Yeah, $10 million of Bitcoin or something. I mean, where's it going to go and how's it going to fit?
Big blocks, $100 million chunks on the blockchain.
And in honor of you, Michael, we are now going to look for these big blocks on the blockchain for you that we know that Blockstream have purposely restricted. So, well, we got 1.4, 1.5, a 1.8. Oh, that's big for a small block Bitcoin there. Yeah, that's it. So anyway, Elon, this is Bitcoin right here. So, look at this. Would you believe it? A 68 megabyte block in the first row. Followed by an 82 megabyte block. Can you tell which one is Bitcoin already? So we do play fun and games on this show. So not only do we play spot the big blocks, we also play spot the small blocks, because there are nefarious entities like via BTC who are literally basically trying to steal blocks without putting any effort and work into the network. So Hathor has come along and decided to scoop up the small blocks so that they can't get any, which is why I find it hilariously funny. Via BTC will be spitting feathers that Hathor mined a block with just 6 kilobytes in. 15, 23, 10, 36, 21. Look at this. 49, 59. Beautiful. 18, 7, 13, 21. Absolutely beautiful. Absolutely beautiful. Loving that. Loving that. And while we're here, we are just going to check this out in more details. Look at this, people. Where are we? Oh my goodness me. Can you believe it? We are just 40 megabytes. That might happen in the next 10 minutes, people. Oh, beautiful. Beautiful. Look at that. Right, we'll check out the charts in just a mo. Yes. All right. Oh, 40 megabytes. Good grief. Might have to crack open the bottle of champagne today. Oh, Right, so again, Elon, if you don't know what you're looking at here, this is hash rate. So hash rate follows price, follows value, follows utility, follows creativity, initiative, and intelligence. Just like you had to apply to Tesla. You had to be creative and be intelligent and get it working and all that kind of stuff. So if you are intelligent and you apply creativity and initiative, you can make something useful. When something is useful, it can then create value. When it creates value, it can then develop a price. When it develops a price, it can then be measured against the cost of other goods and services and used as a medium of exchange. That's what Bitcoin is all about. So again, proof of work by network. This is just since the 1st of August 2017. And Corecoin and Bcrash will just simply come down like the Twin Towers one day, literally, because they're Ponzi schemes with no fundamental value or use case, really. Again, this is just Bcrash and Bitcoin hash rate, Bcrash, Bitcoin proof of work. Again, I mean, like I said, Bcrash is going to disappear one day. Look at these figures, Elon, if you're watching the show. Look, it is currently 32,170 times cheaper to transact on Bitcoin than it is Corecoin, because Corecoin is fundamentally useless and worthless. And we're just going to compare that to Bcrash now as well. So, and remember, Bcrash likes to think of themselves as cash. So how ridiculous is this when we're literally about to smash them out of the water? So we have to excuse I'm just going to do my calculator here. 32,170 divided by 1,427. 22.5. So that is 2,250 times cheaper to transact on Bitcoin than Bcrash, who like to think of themselves as cash. How insane is that? Again, mining profitability. So it's actually 3% more profitable to mine on SV at the moment. Usually it's been a bit below that of Corecoin because there's more competition for it. But we'll have a look at the politics in just a minute. And again, Bcrash, we can just ignore that one. So daily average Bitcoin block size by network. Look at this, Elon. Bitcoin absolutely smashing it. Absolutely smashing it. This is Corecoin. You can see it's going absolutely nowhere. And this is Bcrash going down. Daily Bitcoin transactions by network. Again, Bitcoin winning. You know, considering it's only really been around since the 15th of November 2019. Yeah, I think that was it, yeah. 2018. God, time flies when you're having fun. I'll have to find out when we get to the charts. I should know that. How embarrassing. I know it's 15th November. Huh. Yeah, so transactions per block. Yeah, self-explanatory. Again, so fees by network. I think these are fees in the block. So fees are related to the volume of transactions going through the network, which I'll explain when we get to another chart in just a minute. Daily average Bitcoin fees by network Satoshis. Again, same thing. Block reward ratio versus fees in the block. Again, so we're expecting a massive increase in the value of Bitcoin, but also a massive increase in the transaction volume. So this is just simply, as you can see, it's got percentages down here. The ratio between the block reward and the fee. So again, we're just going to monitor that one. But look at this. This is what we're talking about. Daily accumulated Bitcoin blockchain growth by network. So this shows you the value of the chain, not the monetary value, the data value. As in like how much data, how much weight is on the chain. How valuable it is to people who are using it to for data sovereignty, for data security, for data efficiencies. They're actually using it. And look at the increase here, Elon. It is absolutely massive. And yeah, if we expand this, look at this. Look at this. Look at that. Look at that. So when was that? So it was, yeah, it was, there we go. So 15th of November 2018 is when it started. And look at that. That was the chain. And look at that. It was already useful, Elon. Already useful. Now look at this. This is massive. This is... Oh my goodness me. Look how close we are. Look at this. So, yeah. Oh, point. Are we in front? Oh, we're in front. This is awesome. Look at that. 352 spot 26 for Corecoin and 352 spot 28 for Bitcoin. Oh, come on. Come on. Come on. Oh, that has made my day. That has made my day. You beauty. All right, let's just have that updated here quickly. Hold on, come on. Let's see this. I've got to see it. I've got to see it. I've got to post it. Oh, come on. The Bitcoin SV blockchain has grown by 0.4 gigabytes, more than the BTC chain. Oh, get in there. Get in there. Print that screen. Here we go. Oh, this is amazing. I'm sorry, Elon, but, you know, I'm not sure if you're actually really going to watch this show or not, so I'm going to do this. You can see where I'm going to send this in just a minute. This is too exciting. This is too exciting. Here we go. Just opening up my my Paint application on my desktop. I'm going to print that bad boy, and then I'm going to post it on Twitter, as you'll see in just a second. Oh, I have a limited RAM on my desktop, unfortunately, which is why it's taking a little bit of time, and I've got all these screens open, but we'll get there. Oh no, I might have to abort this. Come on, desktop, you can do this. Oh, it's working slowly. Go on, we're there. Right, cropping this. Here we go. Bring that across. Thank you, that's one. And we're just gonna, there we go, cropping that bad boy. Oh, this is amazing. Done, and we're gonna expand the screen here, or increase the pixels in the project. Oh, here we go. Got it. So we are now going to say, oh, I don't even need to say anything. It says it all. Oh, this is amazing. This is amazing. I tell you what, I'm just going to emphasize this by putting a red line under it. Hold on. There we go. So people know Bitcoin, and it's got Bitcoin SV. This is brilliant. This is brilliant. Oh, yes. Loving this. Loving this. There we go. Oh, for all the world to see. It actually says Bitcoin SV. It's not, well, we need it in brackets. It's the Bitcoin chain, really. Loving this. All right, I'm just going to save that. Oh, should we save as? Sorry about that. Yeah. Save as. Pictures. Consultancy images. Here we go. Oh, beautiful. Today's date, just so I know, 2021. It is May 16th. Oh, yes. Here we go. Here we go. Saving as we speak. Done. You beauty. Now you'll just see what I've just done right here. Just going to post this, Elon. You have to excuse me. I'm going to find this image. Oh, no. Sorry, Ruthie. Didn't need to send that to Ruth. Discard that one. Just going to go home. There we go. Now we can add this picture. Here we go. For all the world to see. Amazing. Here we go. Find the image I just made. Here's one I made earlier. As the expression goes. There we go. Oh, you can see it now, people. Look at that. Look at that. Yeah. The Bitcoin BSV blockchain has grown by, oh, come on. Oh, this is amazing. What a day. What a day. Here we go. Right, we'll have a rocket in there. We'll have graph and we'll have champers. Because why not? You know, absolutely. Where is it? There it is. Got it. Oh, come on. Should we have a... yeah, I can have 3 in there. Tweet. Look at that bad boy. Look at that bad boy. That looks beautiful. In fact, you know what? We'll just have that big screen. Might use that as my screenshot for today. Look at that. Look at that. Love it. Love it. Over the moon with that, people. Over the moon with that. Right, here we go. Oh, yes. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. There we go. We are in front and we will never look back. Right, Elon, so sorry about that. I just got a bit distracted, but it was exciting times. So this is where the politics lies, really. This is the hash rate. This is global hash rate 7 days. Not as relevant or significant as global hash rate 24 hours, which is this one. This will match Core Coin because, again, it's got like 97% of the hash rate. So it's kind of like identical. We've got via BTC and BTC.com trading places. Other than that, it's pretty much the same, but you know, who cares? It's irrelevant. There's no value in it whatsoever. And again, this is Bcrash. Again, Hathor is mining on Bcrash to spoil the party for these what we call altcoiners. Just for sheer spite, because what they're mining here is utter garbage. So I do find it quite funny. But this is Bitcoin. Look at this. So Elon, if you're watching this, the whole point of this is to squeeze these what they call nefarious entities, which is via BTC and BTC.com, off the chain. So they're having trouble adjusting their algorithms to win blocks on Bitcoin. And the reason we're squeezing them off the chain is because they are the ones who are artificially suppressing the price, which we will look at in just a second. But the reason we're squeezing them off the chain is because they're obviously going to want Bitcoin when they realize that Bitcoin is BSV and what they're holding is an absolute pile of dog poo, like worse than Doge. And so if they want it, the first thing they're going to have to do is dump their bags. So these miners are going to be the first big players to shoot their load and bolt, literally. And they're going to leave people like yourself, you know, all the members of the public, high and dry, because they'll be dumping their coins on them rapidly to try and get hold of Bitcoin, because it will absolutely skyrocket when they see the number of people using it. And they understand that it's the only one that has any fundamental use case, as we'll see when we go through the charts. But yeah, so these are the short positions here, Elon. Just on Bitfinex as a laugh here. So this started out as an 88% short ratio on Bitcoin, because these, we call them shitcoiners, they don't understand it. And now look at this. They've got a short ratio of 91%. I mean, look at the price. Look at the price going up and down. They're trying to short it because they don't understand it, because they really don't have the intellectual capacity to get it. They don't understand that Bitcoin is a commodity. It is not a cryptocurrency. You know, listen to my show and they wouldn't understand it. But look at this, Elon. This is beautiful. I'm just going to explain this to you right now. So this is the global blockchain working live in real time in front of our very eyes. So this might just look like, you know, numbers and colors on the screen. But let me just show you what is behind this. If you type in Bitcoin mining farms, here we go, on a search engine, and search for images, here we go. look at this. These are all the mining farms. All this that you're seeing, all of this goes towards that's generating the screen that we just looked at. Everything here goes down to that one screen. It is phenomenal. An amazing system. So this is what we're looking at here. So the vertical rectangular blocks at the top are the transactions being recognized by the nodes on the network. And the network is an ultra small world Mandela network, which means transactions are confirmed instantly because they cannot be cracked out, altered, changed, or deleted the moment a node recognizes it. And just to show you what a small world Mandala network looks like, it is not a mesh network, it is a Mandala network. So we'll just hop in, here we go, Mandala network. I'm sure you know this from your education and stuff. Here we go. So this is a typical Mandala network. So you're only really ever like 6 hops away from where you need to be. It is literally the new internet. Like I said before, it is it's the foundation layer for all future digital technologies, secured and underpinned by economic principles, and it is shaped like this. This is what the network is. It is beautiful, beautiful. So once these transactions are recognized by the nodes on the network, which we're seeing here, they're then thrown into the memory pool. But on this graph, we can see the transaction generators below them. And then to the right, we've got the transaction ID, the input, the output, the total output, the type, and the op return. Once the transactions are recognized by the nodes, they're then thrown into the memory pool, which is where they are competed for by the miners and payment processors in order to create a block, put the transaction within a block, and then place the block on the blockchain, which is here, which is when the miner, whoever it is that was able to do that, is rewarded with the coin-based data, otherwise known as the block reward, otherwise known as freshly minted Bitcoin. This is how it works. So let's take this block here that was 68 megabytes. You can see in the highlighted rectangular box below, we've got the hash of that block, the height of the block, who it was mined by, the size of the block, this particular one was 82 megabytes, the time and the date it was mined, the transaction count within the block, and the total fees, which is 144. So I'm just going to play you a video here of actually Laura Shin questioning a chap called Dan Held over this. So she explains it quite well, but he does a really bad job of explaining it because he's lying, basically. So have a listen to this.
So, as you mentioned, at a certain point when the block reward stops, there will be a transition where miners will be compensated in transaction fees, not in the block reward. And the current amount that they earn is from fees is about 9% of the block reward. And so we'd have to see transaction fees 11x by roughly 2140, which is when the new Bitcoins will stop being minted. But I just wondered, if we don't see an increase in the amount of transactions that can happen at layer 1, because the number of layer 1 transactions is limited. And right now, I feel like a lot of the scaling is focusing on layer 2. Can transaction fees 11x in that time, or will that require people to pay a lot more per transaction?
The KPI for this for what we're looking at right now, which the question we're trying to answer is, are transaction fees replacing the block subsidy in the block reward? So are newly minted coins, are they, as those decrease, is that value being replaced by the subsidy? And so we can calculate that. That would be our primary KPI. So you could look at transaction fees over the subsidy, transaction fees in a block divided by the subsidy, and you brought up that that's at 9%. If we look at that historically and we make it like a rolling 60-day to smooth it out a little bit, and we look at this over time on a log curve, it's very much trending in the right direction, where 11x sounds like a lot, but Bitcoin moves in really intense cycles where we've all seen it go from 1,000 to 10,000 or 20,000. When that happens, that means there's not an equivalent, but a directional rise in transactions and transaction fees. And so we have seen transaction fees replace the subsidy over time. And so it very much is trending in the right direction to where over the next couple halving cycles, we should see it start to predominantly be the value that is compensated to the miners in the block reward. If Bitcoin doesn't become adopted, if it remains a more niche sort of a service for humankind where only, let's say 20 million people use it, well, then its long-term security will be weak. If Bitcoin is the world reserve currency that doesn't have a strong security model, like there's not a lot of monetary compensation in the block reward due to transaction fees, well, will that be a bad scenario? Well, it's an impossible scenario, because if it is the world reserve currency, there'll be very, very many layer 1 transaction fees.
Okay, yeah. So it sounds like you think it is possible people might consider that because, or rather, it's possible that the amount in transaction fees will maybe not be enough on layer 1 to replace the block reward when the time comes.
There we go. I think she explained it quite well there. And because of all this development that Coolcoin and Blockstream are doing on layer 2, because they don't want it to succeed, bearing in mind the block reward gets cut in half every 210,000 blocks, it will fail. This is why Bitcoin is BSV, as Satoshi Nakamoto designed and described in the white paper, because it is the data that has value. It is the chain that creates data security, and it's that data security that gives the data itself its value. And the reason the data has that value is because it's limited supply. It's an absolutely beautiful system, Elon. So please DM me, do whatever you want. I'll explain everything to you. And I'll even give you these charts to look at yourself if you watch this show. So again, for any my regular watchers, we'll just have a look at charts, see if there's any movers and shakers popping up. Competing with D-Drive. No, it was alright, still the same. Always worth checking. Always worth checking. Now, Elon, this chart here, this page called BitInfo Charts, has got various different metrics on it. The only one you really need to pay attention to is this one. So it says transactions 24 hours. This is not just the Bitcoin network. This is the entire shit show crypto market. And there's only 10 coins on here. So really, if you want to do a little bit of investigating, you only need to do research on these 10 coins, because none of the others matter. They literally do nothing. Now, now your Dogecoin is on here, as you can see. I find that a bit embarrassing, but you can look at that as well. So XRP is pre-mined, and pre-mined basically means that it has a central point of authority and control over the network. It can never be used as money. And so to illustrate this, actually, we'll just have a listen to David Schwartz, who is the Chief Technical Officer for Ripple Labs, who own and control XRP. So I'm just going to find this video quickly here for you. Just give me 2 seconds, as I have a large video library. It will be worth it. Come on, David Schwartz. Let's be having ya. Around here somewhere. Oh, there we go. Oh, and where is he? Oh, it's around here somewhere, because I've seen it many times before. It was a classic video. I normally keep an eye out for his big nose. That's how I'm sort of able to spot it. Oh, seriously? We will find it. We will find it. There we go, got it. Right, Elon, have a listen to this. This is David Schwartz, Chief Technology Officer of Ripple Labs.
Pleasure to have you, David. All right, so I was hoping you could comment perhaps briefly on this piece of news out this morning. Is Ripple hoping to find evidence that XRP is similar to Bitcoin and Ether and should not be considered a security?
Yeah, I think the primary argument that we're trying to make here is that the market considers them similar. We considered them similar. All of the evidence suggested that they were similar, and then the SEC just comes out of nowhere and say, nope, they're completely different. Ripple is a company. We're based in San Francisco. We have employees. We have shareholders. We have a CEO. I work for that company. I'm the chief technology officer. And it's a company like any other company. It's centralized. What the CEO says goes. There's a board of directors. It just works like any other company. The XRP is a digital asset. It's censorship resistant. It's publicly traded. It trades on the XRP ledger. Ripple does not own or control the XRP ledger in any way.
So how did Ripple then get all the XRP that it has? It has about half the supply. So just how did that particular transaction happen?
The XRP ledger has a very different design from what Bitcoin and Ethereum have, and many other digital assets. Like in Bitcoin, the stakeholders are at least to some extent the miners, and the miners like reap the rewards of the transaction fees. The XRP ledger doesn't work that way. It is not competitive. Nobody's competing to reap fees. Because it's not a competitive system, it doesn't have any way to sort of award fees to a particular party. Because although if it had a way to award fees to particular parties, people would compete for those fees, and it would become competitive. So the way it's design works is when the ledger first began operation, the 100 billion XRP, all that will ever exist, were sort of up for grabs. And lots of people grabbed XRP out of that system, but it just so happens that obviously, just like early miners mined, huge amounts of Bitcoin before the public knew about it or was using it, early XRP users grabbed large amounts of that pool of XRP. And so the people who developed the ledger wound up with, the vast majority of it, and then have been distributing it since then.
So the important thing to take from that is that it is not a competitive system. If it is not a competitive system, it is not a decentralized system. When you say, oh, the developers just grabbed it, honestly, it's ridiculous, Elon. Hopefully you're smart enough to see through that. But just to show you Bitcoin in all of its glory, on BitInfo charts here, again, we'll just do 3 years and then we'll do a log curve that Dan Held likes. Look at this. So this was the 15th of November 2018 when Bitcoin finally managed to slip out from the grasp of all these nefarious actors who want to prevent it from working and make it regulatory uncompliant so it can't be used and all that. Look at this, Elon. Look at that. Absolutely motoring. Now that it can actually be used properly because it is regulatory compliant and has got no limitations on scale. And you ain't seen nothing yet. You have not seen anything yet. It is beautiful. Just have a look at the scaling test network. Oh, look at so I've actually seen this on the scaling test network, near 20,000. So I think they reset it, but the main net here. So you can see we've got 5,124 transactions already, transactions per second, and a block of 608 megabytes on the main net. It is scaling, Elon. It is coming for the world. Yes, it is. Trends.cash, well, TDXP at macking it hard today. Look, apps ranking by money spent. Wow. We'll have a look at TDXP up in a minute. If you do want to trade, remember, dirty traders can be unsullied on TDXP app. So remember, investors and traders are polar opposites. Investors add value, traders take value away, which is why I block all traders who try to follow me. Maybe they just don't understand what they're doing. Probably not. But this shows you apps ranking by performed actions. And again, these ones that we don't know about, which represent about 80% of the transactions, I think are corporations, because a corporation called Worldline that has a $3.4 billion turnover, that has points of sale terminals in their business for payment processes, they are now using the Bitcoin network. Well, they're on phase 2, and they are just one of many that will be using it. We haven't found out about it yet because they haven't announced themselves, but believe me, I'll be one of the first people to find out as soon as the article comes out, and I always report it. So yeah, looking beautiful there. That is utility. Now, Elon, you want to pay attention to this one. Seriously, this is the one you want to pay attention to. You see this? So this says BTC, all exchanges reserves, or all exchanges reserve. Now, this red line are their reserves. So as you can see, their reserves are being diminished. They are being dumped. Now, why would exchanges be dumping their reserves if they think the price is going to go up, which is followed by this black line here? The reason they are dumping their reserves is because they understand that BTC has no fundamental value, which means it only has a speculative price, which is why they carried on dumping it, even when the price was going up. Now, the reason the price was going up is because with them dumping it, they were causing a liquidity squeeze. And people like yourself and other people in the world started buying in. But that's because you don't know what these exchanges know. These exchanges play an integral role in the network. They are the liquidity providers. But what they don't want to be doing is holding the bag when the shit hits the fan. So they are dumping it. Now this line here is pretty much gonna mirror what's gonna happen to the price chart, to the price line over here when people find out that Coolcoin BTC has no fundamental value and all it has is a speculative price. Because when knowledge catches up with speculation, it means that their speculative price will soon match its fundamental value at zero, which is why all these exchanges are getting rid of it now, rather than later when it's going to be worth nothing. So get your billions out now, because these people know. You know, you can either listen to my show and learn for yourself, or you can find out the hard way. Oh dear. So what's on chain? This just shows you the utility of Bitcoin, very similar to Bitcoin Blocks Live that we looked at earlier. These are the recent blocks across the top, and again you can just explore more blocks. You can see the data in them, which are down here. So again, we've got the height, timestamp, age, miner, transactions, total fees, size, etc, etc, etc. It's just a beautiful system. The next estimated block size is 16.33 megabytes. That'll be being created, being created as we speak. Very good. Now, when the data is recognized by the nodes on the network, they are then thrown into the memory pool. Now, this is what a memory pool is meant to look like. The data comes in and then it gets cleared. The data comes in and then it gets cleared. Data comes in, then it gets cleared. Lots of data comes in, then it gets cleared. Doesn't matter how much data comes in. It just simply gets cleared in the next block when it comes along. Now, what a memory pool is not meant to look like is an actual swimming pool like this. This is BTC. This is Coolcoin. They have purposely prevented it from being able to clear the data efficiently because they don't want people using it. And so when people say, well, I can't use it, their response is, well, you're not meant to use it. You know, now if you're intelligent, you should realize that that's really stupid. But that's why we call them shitcoiners with shit for brains, because they believe this crap. It's absolutely insane. And we can actually see this in front of our very eyes on TX Street right here. Look at this. I do find this very funny. So we've got the median transaction fee. So again, like the median fee is $4. So that means like the median fee, like the average fee. So if you just wanted to go down and buy a cup of coffee, not only would you pay for the price of the coffee, but you'd also have to pay probably around $4.05 just to make the transaction to get that coffee. It's absolutely insane. Now the memory pool size has gone down a little bit. This is usually in the high 80s, but it's 30 megabytes. But they are still trying to clear 30 megabytes worth of data from the memory pool using 1 megabyte block sizes produced approximately every 10 minutes. Do you see the issues here? It's insane. Now look at this. This is the replaced by fee and all this kind of rubbish that you see on here. So we're just going to play Andres Antonopoulos here, explaining to you how ridiculous this situation is that we're looking at here. Just give me a few seconds. I shall find it. Here we go. So remember, this guy here that we're listening to is a self-proclaimed expert on Bitcoin. You know, so but just have a listen to what he says here. Personally, I think this is absolutely insane. Here we go.
Anonymous asks, I transferred my Bitcoin with too low a fee, and it's been unconfirmed for 10 days. What should I do? The idea that you did a transaction and that transaction had insufficient fee tells me that you do not have a wallet that allows you to increase the fee after a transaction has been broadcast. Wallets that allow you to do that support one of two technologies. One is called replace by fee, which allows you to broadcast a second transaction with increased fee. And the other one is a technology called child pays for parent, which allows you to make another transaction with the change, or even allows the merchant or recipient to make another transaction with the payment amount that is a child transaction that has more fee, and that child fee is enough to pay for the parent fee, causing both the child and the parent to be confirmed simultaneously. All of this is stuff that you can do with a more sophisticated wallet, but it can be confusing, especially if your wallet is not sophisticated. I would say the first transaction you need to make is to a better wallet.
It's got nothing to do with the sophisticated wallet, Elon. It's to do with the network. Again, he is just simply trying to bamboozle shitcoiners with shit for brains and say, oh yes, well, you know, it's sophisticated. Yeah, it's too complicated for you. No, it's just an absolute load of crap. Oh dear. And then Ethereum, again, you know, there's no value in this because Vitalik Buterin started it, a 21-year-old who was not familiar with the difference between securities and commodities. They can't scale it, and all the patents are basically owned sort of by Enchain on the public network that anyone and everybody can use. So what you don't want is a private entity with private blockchains like the Crypto Open Patent Alliance having blockchain patents that is on a permissioned network. That's the whole point. It's the patents that protect the public to make sure that the public can use the network, and that you're not going to get people like Jack Dorsey or anyone else saying, oh, actually, no, you can't use it on the public blockchain. You have to use our private network and we're going to profit from it. No, that's not how money works. But absolutely hilarious, really. Hope you enjoyed that. So, Elon, I'm sure you're aware of this. This is the reason that lots of people are looking to put their money into alternative stores of value, because as you can see here, the Federal Reserve has been on an absolute tear, spending money literally hand over fist. Now, what's kind of like particularly worrying about this, I shall just let somebody explain it to you here. So bearing in mind, effectively, with fiat currency, with it being paper, the way you debase it is by printing more. Whereas before they used to add like cheaper and cheaper metals, so they could just sort of like get more into circulation, make more money for themselves. This is to do with printing. So have a listen to this.
The system is inherently unstable as a result of the international power it provides to the dominant parties. For at the heart of it lies the idea of, how can I get something for nothing?
Statistical analysis has found that every time an empire begins to near its own demise, you'll find that its currency will be debased.
There we go, and that is exactly what we're looking at here. And if you're not sure, if it is being debased or how it's created, just have a listen to Ben Bernanke right here.
A lot of people think when I say this, or when you say this, or when Positive Money say this, that we're all just a bunch of nutters. But on the 9th of March in 2009, the governor of the Federal Reserve, Ben Bernanke, gave the first ever broadcast interview the governor of the central bank of the United States of America had ever given. And the day before that, he'd bailed out AIG, which is an insurance company, not even a bank, actually, to the tune of about $160 billion. So the journalist says to him, now, Mr. Bernanke, where did you get $160 billion to bail out AIG?
Is that tax money that the Fed is spending? It's not tax money. The banks have accounts with the Fed much the same way that you have an account in a commercial bank. So to lend to a bank, we simply use the computer to mark up the size of the account that they have with the Fed. So it's much more akin, although not exactly the same, but it's much more akin to printing money than it is to borrowing.
There we go. So it's much more akin to printing money than it is to borrowing. No, it's exactly like printing money. You know, maybe they don't print it because they just simply use the computer, as he said. So it's not like printing because we don't use ink on paper, but it's more akin to that. We just simply put digits into the computer. Oh dear. And if you're wondering where that money is going and if it's stimulating the economy, I suggest you pay close attention to this. This is the velocity of money, which shows the economic stimulation it is providing to the economy. And as you can see, it is doing nothing, which means it is going into stores of value like your beloved Dogecoin, but it's misdirected in there because they don't understand that Dogecoin also doesn't have any value. But this is going into shares and other stores of value, so it's causing a huge bubble in the stock market, which is quite worrying, to be honest with you. So luckily one of my listeners also sent me this, which is a continuation of the velocity of money. So this, here we go, the M1 money stock. Look at that. So obviously the Louisiana Fed didn't want people to see this, but look at that. Look at the economy is not being stimulated at all. M2 money stock. Dear oh dear, it's really not looking promising. But since Bitcoin is the only thing that can save us, I do this every day, Elon. How are we feeling about Bitcoin? Feeling good. 68%. Oh, right. Okay. People, log on to CoinGecko. Upvote that sense of feeling good to try and help these shitcoiners. You know, like to guide them towards a genuine Bitcoin, because they're going to get wrecked. It's really bad. Let's have a look at BitPing. Again, just like looking at the network nodes here. Wait for this to come up. We see how many countries we've got on board. And we're looking for the money flow per hour. Oh, it just cropped up there. Here we go. Money flow per hour. Yeah, $1.48. Very good. Got any more countries on today? 48 countries. Okay, this. All the nodes. This is going to grow, Elon. This is going to be huge. At the moment, obviously, you can see the nodes in the more developed areas of the world. Hence, concentrated in Europe and North America. And sort of maybe Far East Asia. You know, maybe. But looking beautiful there. Let's have a look at the morning run. Sorry, Elon, but this is a bit embarrassing, but we just look at figures because this is a stat show. This is the equivalent to the shit show being built on Bitcoin right now. So these tokens are actually on the Bitcoin network, which is really embarrassing. It's currently got a trade volume of $8,437. But again, you have to excuse these techies. They are techies. They're not sort of like, you know, fundamental academics. They don't realize that what they're doing is illegal. These are all illegal security offerings. So the exchange that offers these is going to be on the hook for it. I just haven't got around to telling them yet, you know, but they should know. Let's have a look at Bitcoin here. Oh, the bids and the asks. Okay, so we've got a price here of $323. Preview is not showing the price at the moment, but again, you know, this is sort of like the trade volume, bids versus asks. The green will soon look like a tsunami coming over on the reds, as the reds will literally disappear as everybody scrambles to buy Bitcoin. You know, so it's a good time to get in now. Very good time to get in now. Not financial advice. Let's have a look at the Bitcoin price. I mean, look at this. You can pick up a genuine Bitcoin for $324 after all the charts and figures that we've looked at. How valuable do you think this one? What fundamental value do you think this has? Do you think it might be more than $324? Yeah. I can tell you, Elon, the fundamental value at a conservative estimate of Bitcoin is $40 million each. And the way you get to that figure is you just simply take the derivatives market. You take the derivatives market, divide it by the total supply in our lifetimes, and then you come up with a rough figure. And the price chart is going to look like an S-curve when you zoom out, as it's like going to rocket up to like 50% of its overall market, and then it'll sort of tail off as it consumes the entire market, and then just continues on a steady upward trajectory. So we are right at the bottom right now. In fact, I will show you what I'm talking about, just because I'm feeling generous. I'll send this to myself. Where am I? Here we go. So this is Elon, just for you, as this is a show dedicated for you today. Got it. Here we go. I love it. So this is what it's going to look like. This is the S-curve. So we are literally right down at the bottom here right now, right here. So it goes up, and then probably half the market is probably, I don't know, $20-30 million per Bitcoin. So at this point, it will probably be going up by like $1 million a week. It might even go up by about $1 million a day at some point. You know, when it gets to about half the market, absolutely insane. And then it sort of tails off, and then it just continues up steadily like that on an upward trajectory. And I'll just show you this other graph. This is quite interesting. This shows you the crossover between block rewards and block subsidy. Here we go. There you go. So this is the block reward getting cut in half every 210,000 blocks, and this is the transaction subsidy. So it's the subsidy that will eventually take over the block reward. That's how it's going to work, Elon. Just for you this morning. There we go. Hope you enjoyed that. So yeah, that's the price. Now we're going to have to look at TDXP app. Check it out. So this is the Bitcoin versus the core coin chart. Just refresh that. it allows me to refresh. Whew. Here we go. Oh. Have a look at this. There we go. So this is BSV versus Coolcoin. Bitcoin versus Coolcoin. Loving that. On the way up. Looking very good. Just got a cheeky little trade on there. Why not? Just one little BSV against BTC. 9% up. Come on. Have it. Let's have a look at the real shit show. Dear oh dear. I mean, look, none of these have got any value, Elon. None of them. Literally none of them. Because they're all illegal securities due to the way that they were created. Literally, Bitcoin is the only one that's got any fundamental value. And look at this. Down at number 31 on the shitcoin market. But we'll just see if that's... because obviously dirty traders obviously have a lot of their trading bots linked to the price of Coolcoin. We'll just compare Coolcoin. Oh, Coolcoin down on the week. Down on the month. Oh, just surviving over 3 months. Okay, right. So we'll just compare that to Bitcoin. Let's have a look. Up on the day. Oh, down on the day. Oh. Down on the week just a little bit. Oh, 1 month. Oh, I was hoping it was go. But up on 3 months. Look at that trajectory. Look at that trajectory, Elon. That is 3 months. 3 months. See, this is what I was laughing at short traders for. I mean, look at this over 6 months. Can you see what we are seeing here? This is huge. 1 year. Look at that. Can you see what's happened? Look at the development. Look at the sudden increase in utility and all. And again, I could show you each of these changes in the price represent an event that happened. So this one was the copyright registrations for the name Bitcoin, which Craig owns because he created it. This is the copyright come down. This was Tulip Tuesday, when the keys to the Tulip Trust, which is basically Bitcoin's insurance policy against shitcoins, were returned to him on the 15th of January 2020. This was the COVID dip. This was Tether printing $1 billion for the first time. They've printed way more than $1 billion now. Just like trading ups and downsies. And what's it called? Oh, so this recent one was the Krypton Open Patent Alliance spike. I can't remember what the peak was before that. Dear oh dear, I'll have to go back and remind myself. Something happened there, yeah, but we're more interested in 3 months. Look at that, 3 months of Bitcoin in comparison to Coolcoin. Here we go. Look at this on 3 months. Oof, see, look. I know which one looks more promising to me. Yes, indeed. So, yeah, that's we'll just run through my little figures quickly. So, 483, nice one. More followers there. Let's check out my my lovely series that I love called Douchebags of Bitcoin, which I do find absolutely hilarious. Let's have a look at this quickly. Playlists. So
Bitcoin was created by...
Yeah. So I just got a few on here, Elon, that we're monitoring due to number of views. Adam back. Let's have a look at this. Currently on 236. He was actually overtaken by Dan Held, that we listened to earlier, on 245. And then these two are catching up. This is the late one, like a later video. There we go. And these guys are on 220. 220. Yeah, wow. Loving that. Let's have a look at my Streamanity followers. 261, thank you very much. Elon, if you want to follow me and subscribe, please just follow me on Streamanity. Much graciated. Much gracias. Let's have a look at Twitch. So again, this is like you get your tweet etched on Twitch forever on the Bitcoin blockchain. So this is like a way you actually get paid. So if I look at my profile here, for example, I can see how much I've earned. Look, so I've actually earned $217 on Twitch just from all my posting. You can't get that on Twitter. So I'm just going to have a look at the Twitch stats here from Acorn Stack by Joshua Hensley. So new users 145, over 24-hour period. We've seen that as high. I can't remember what the highest figure is. I think they might have hit 1,000 at one point. But that's going to rocket, as you can imagine. Imagine earning money from Twitch with the amount of time you spend on it. Absolutely huge. My followers heading in the right direction, almost up to 400. Lovely jubbly. And let's look at our girl Ruthie. Check it out. How's her tweet doing? Will Twitter let it go above 960? Will they even let me view her profile? Yes. Oh, 959. Oh dear, oh dear. Here we go. There we go. 960. Back up for that, Ruth. And our man Satoshi quickly. 77,800. Great stuff. Right, Elon, what we normally do is we normally just go through whale alerts over 24 hours just to see if there's been any, shitcoining going on. With just printing, like stablecoin printers. This is what's basically supported the price of Corecoin over all these years. Literally with Tether printing money hand over fist. So, I mean, look at this. So Binance, for example, they've printed $58 billion here. It's just like, really? Where did that come from? They just made it up, just like the Federal Reserve. It's much more akin to printing, money, than it is to borrowing. But look at that. Look, 67 million USD. Another 74 million USD. It's insane, Elon, if you're watching my show. There we go. But if we go to stablecoin printer, it generally tends to be more reliable than let's look at this. It shows you the big amount. Look at that. Tether, 1.03 billion USD. And where did that go? Corecoin. Another Tether, 2 billion. So this was, look, 13th of May, 1 billion. 11th of May, 2 billion. 6th of May, let's see what else there was. There we go. 6th of May, to another 2 billion USD. There is no institutions going into Corecoin, Elon. It is literally Tether trying to compete with all those exchanges that are cashing out, as I said before. And they can't continue this on because this is blatant fraud. Look at the amounts that are being printed here. It's insane. Literally insane. So yeah. There we go. Hope you enjoyed the show. Please reach out to me via Twitter or somebody else if you want to have a direct message with me, or you want to come on my show for a bit of Bitcoin biscuits and coffee. Somebody else will explain to you what that is. But yeah, hope you enjoyed the show. That's an epic one today, people. Shout out to people in the chat box. Starting from the top, we've got SK38M, Aaron Gootville, Arcade Rob, good to see you. Connor G, Keith Fellows in the house. J Paps also in there as well. Excellent stuff. Good chatting there. KP Dad, good to see you. Thank you very much. Hope you enjoyed the show. Right, guys, we'll leave it there. Remember, please, I'm going to upload this to YouTube. I'm going to put a picture of Elon on the thumbnail. So please share this out. Try and get his attention and try and encourage him to watch this video from start to finish. And then we'll get him on the show for a live chat. How's that? Right, guys, enjoy your weekend. I'm going to go and I'm going to have a little bottle of shampoos, I think. So, yeah, catch you guys later. Get paid for posting your pics on Relica. Download the app now at www.getrelica.com. Get your tweet etched on Twitch, forever on the Bitcoin blockchain. Do it today at www.jointwitch.com. BuyBSV.live, the best place to buy Bitcoin SV online. Support independent content creators on micropayment platforms such as Streamanity, Twitch and Relica. We should profit from our data, not the large corporations who track, monitor and sell it. If you enjoy the Bitcoin content that I produce, please support me by heading over to www.satoshi.tv, where you can keep up to date with all the latest news, gossip and content as it's created. Thanks very much. To get started in Bitcoin, go to freebsv.com, where you can claim your free Bitcoin. Then head over to Twitter and follow @IamSatoshi, where you can take part in his very generous and world famous free giveaways. The future of advertising meets the power of Bitcoin at Tonic Pow. Get paid for posting advertising campaigns to your social media profiles. Go to www.tonicpowads.com.